take time, focus and it'll be fine, girl.
Okay, hello there. My name's Stuart Ford from Stuart Ford Fitness and Martial Arts Instruction. I'm here today to introduce my Fitness in a Box, which is the first episode of a 4-part series, which is in turn part of my Coach in the Box series. And we're going to be doing some calisthenic exercises or bodyweight exercises. We're going to be working the core and the hips and the shoulders. And again, I say this is part of my Coach in the Box series. So if this is the first time you've come in, today's date is Friday the 22nd of May. So if you just come in now, and then you can still get the next 3 series in if you can, or the next 3 episodes, you can get to those. If not, there'll be a pre-recorded video on YouTube, so you'll be watching it as that later on. Okay, so we're broadcasting live on Zoom, and I have Marion here with me today, taking part in the session. But you'll only be hearing me really and seeing my footage. Okay, so we're gonna get on. I'm gonna start some music up, and then we're gonna crack on. Okay, so let's get started then. So we're gonna start off with a little warm up, as we always should do. So we're gonna have our feet hip to shoulder width apart, and we're just gonna start by pushing out our chest and arching our back. So if I do this from the sides, you can see this side on as well. So we're arching our back, and we're bringing our chin down towards our chest and opening up, and then we're going to tuck our bottom underneath, so we're rounding our back. Then again we're going to arch the back, bring the chin down, and then we're going to round the back and lift the chin up. Arch the back and bring the chin down, round the back and bring the chin up. Now if you don't get all of these parts right, it doesn't matter, just getting the back arched and the back rounded is a good start. You go through about 15-20 of these repetitions. From the front. So you keep increasing the range of motion as you go. Okay, next up we're going to do a side-to-side version of that, lateral version. So we're going to have a straight leg on this side, bent leg on this side, and we're just going to let our hip drop on the bent leg side, and then we're going to change sides. So we're going to straighten our other leg and then let the other leg bend and the hip drop down. And then we're going to change again, and change, and change. And you can just have a little bit of a reach down towards the straight leg side if you like, to increase that stretch from the other side. So again, start nice and easy with it. Pumping some fluid into the joints. Love the exercises to get the body working, get the vertebra moving, get the hip joints moving. These exercises aren't going to be about beasting you, they're going to be about smoothly moving from a state of stillness, doing nothing, into exercise. Good, okay, and then next up we're going to rotate. So we're going to place the palms together, and we're going to turn the hips off one way, and then turn the shoulders the opposite way, and then change. So we turn the hips one way and the shoulders the other way, and change, and change. And the head can go the same way the hips go. Again, just keep on increasing that range of movement slowly. Breathing, relaxing. And we try to keep ourselves central in our balance, so we're not swaying the hips from side to side. Good, okay, we're going to move on to the shoulders now, get the arms a bit more involved. So our first one is, we're going to have Try and keep the shoulders relaxed. If this means you have to drop them a bit lower, then do so. But don't bring the shoulders up around the ears, so keep the mouse nice and straight. And we're going to turn the palms over and we're going to pull the fingers down, so we stretch the fingers. Then we're going to turn them over the other way with a clenched fist. And then turn them back and then open them over. Turn them back under with a clenched fist. Turn them back and open them over. Under with a clenched fist. Back. You can stick your chest out when you do this part, and then we can go under and we can round the back just like we did with our first exercise. So we can round the back when the fists go under, and then back and stretch and stick the chest out. Try to keep the arms relaxed, stretching away from you. You should feel a nice stretch all the way down through the forearms. Then we're going to try a similar thing but one-sided, so we're going to go one side at a time. So we're going to keep this side clenched fist and this side the fingers stretched down, and then we're going to turn our head back towards the fist side. Then we're going to change, clench the fist and open the other palm, and then face back towards the fist side. And change, and change. How's the music coming through, Marion? Good. And change. And change. I can't hear it this end, I keep it down nice and quiet so that I can always tamper with that afterwards. Change. And change. And also I'm turning the hips as well while I do these movements, so the body gets involved again as part of the turn. Right the way through your shoulders. Okay, good. Okay, so there's what are called cogs. Now we're going to move on to what are called hinges. So I'll stand side on to show you. So we're going to have a slight soften in the knees. So we're going to drop forwards, keeping our back straight. So we just start with the hips. Then we're going to squeeze the butt and stand up. Drop forwards, squeeze the butt and stand up. Drop forwards, squeeze the butt and stand up. So we're really just hinging at the hips, which is why we're calling these hinges, isolating where we're hinging. So I'm not letting the back go at all. I don't want the back to flex and extend. I just want it to work from the hips, and I want the buttocks to be the main thing I'm feeling. And always drop forwards, we can raise the arms up, and then come back up again, and then pull the arms back behind you. Drop forwards, raise the arms, and then back. Drop forwards, raise the arms, and arms back. Try to again isolate the buttocks, the glutes, feeling those, being king of the motion. One more. Okay, good. I'll show you this one side on. So now we're going to do a bit wider apart with the legs, so about shoulder width, a little bit wider. And we're going to push the hips off to one side and then the other side. One side, then the other side. And so we're leaning in towards the center, but the hips, make sure the hips get pushed out. So we're just starting with this, and we should feel the adductor, that's the inner thigh, stretching. So as I go to my right side, I feel my left adductor stretch. As I go to my left side, I feel my right adductor stretch. And then we can start an arm raise into the movement as well. So we're raising the arm on the inside of the tilt, not the outside of the tilt. So if you just change the arm, the other arm there, Marion. That's it, you hold the position, that's it, yeah, good. And then change, and then lift up the other arm. Yeah, you're back into it again. So make sure the arm raises to the side you're leaning towards. Good. That's it, and then again, all the motions just gradually push further and further into it, and listen to those joints from side to side. Are they working evenly? Is one stretching better than the other? Try to keep the elbow here facing backwards behind you when you lift the arm, so that you're not rotating the arm. Okay, good. So there's forwards and backwards hinges, side to side hinges. We've got a pattern working here. We do all of them like this, and then we finish with a rotational version. So again, feet now hip width apart again, and we're going to just start with the feet. We're going to pivot out with on the heels, so we're keeping the heels on the floor, but we move the balls of the feet out, so turn them out. We're keeping the legs straight, and then the arms at the same time can go out to the outside. Palms facing up, and we're not breaking the posture here, okay? So that means I'm not arching backwards and sticking out the chest. I'm keeping my abdominals engaged, keeping my back straight and my buttocks pinched and tucked under. Okay, so again, outwards. Then we're going to come back to neutral again, and then I'm going to pivot on the balls of the feet, take the heels out, clench the fists, and then bring the fist back inside towards my hips. Then I'm going to come back to neutral, so I'll pivot on the balls of the feet again, back to neutral, then pivot out on the heels and open the arms up. Back to neutral, then inside, back to neutral, and outside, so external rotation, neutral, internal rotation. Feel those shoulders stretch, external rotation, the hips stretch, neutral, internal rotation, neutral, external, neutral, internal, neutral, external, neutral, internal, neutral, external, neutral, internal. Good, that's it. And just again feeling that, increasing the range of motion. One more. Okay, good. And from hinges, we're going to go into slightly more dynamic movement, so we're gradually getting the body moving more and more. So again, I'll show you from this one from side on. So the feet are hip width apart again. We're going to let the knees bend a little bit. Okay, so I want to keep the legs straight, but I'm intentionally slumping the back now, so my spine's curving over, reaching down towards the floor as if we're picking up a ball. Then we're going to come up, lean back and open out. Then we're coming back down to the floor, up and open out. Forward, slumping the back, up, open back, and try to look behind you when you get to this point. Then back down to the floor, slumping, squeezing the buttocks off the calf, leaning back. Down, up, open, down, up and open, down, up and open, down. So all of these exercises, we can get a lot out of them just by trying to increase that range of motion, and then our body's having to work hard. Even though we haven't got a weight we're carrying, we've got our own body weight working with it. We work the back, then we work the abdominals and we lean back. One more. Good. Okay, now we're going to go lateral version. So legs nice and wide for this one, about a shoulder and a half width apart. Then we're going to lean over to one side. Let that weight just sink into that leg. We try to keep both sets of toes facing forwards, or both feet facing forwards, so they're parallel. Reaching over our head and stretching down, and the other arm can come up the back. So I'll show you this from the back here. So it's over this side then, over the back, and then the other arm up and under. So I've got the fingers trying to get as close as I can to the spine. Then I'm going to go over to the other side in one nice motion, and then down, and then over, and down, over, and down, and over, and over, Always about the quality of the movement, so keep on trying to improve the quality, the range of motion, and try and look for a nice straight line here through my leg, over my side, over my arm, rather than a kind of a wonky look. Big stretches over. Okay, good. Next up, so we'll try this from looking forwards and from back, so we're doing a rotational version. So our feet are back to about shoulder width, between shoulder and hip width, so not too narrow, not too wide. And I'm going to keep my feet again straight. Weight stays on this leg, and that foot stays facing forwards, and my knee stays facing forwards. I'm going to turn the other knee into it. Okay, so don't let this knee buckle out here. Again, so here, rotate into it. So bend the knee a little bit here, so you can see the knees facing forwards. And I'm going to go up the back with the other arm and around the shoulder. And try to look behind me. But I'm going to change. Make sure the other foot's now straight, the knee's straight, and I'm going to turn into that one. So I'm pinching my knees together, opening the hips up at the back, and reaching over the shoulder, pivot and change. Pivot, put that foot down neutral, change. Pivot back on the ball of the foot so that foot's neutral and straight again, and then change. I'll show you this from the other way around here. So here, down, neutral, change, and looking around behind you. So one goes up the back, the other one goes round the shoulder, over the shoulder, not over the back of your head with this one. That's it, round your front, good. And then look behind you, turn, look behind, turn, look behind, turn, look behind. Get everything opening up. Always find that one arm does this better than the other. One of them stretches better underneath, one of them stretches better over the top. Just taking time to feel those working. Okay, good work. So now we're going to go from there into a bit more on the legs. So I've got the feet hip width apart, always a good way to start. So hands up in like a rack position. Imagine you've got a couple of dumbbells here, and we're just going to start by squatting down. Now I'll show you this from the side as well. So make sure when we're squatting down, we've got a little tilt forwards with the back, but not overly here. The knees are kind of over the feet, yep, and the bum's back, and we come up. So everything bends evenly. The ankle joint, the knee and the hip joint is all bending the same, and it depends on your flexibility of how low you can go with that. A lot of people, they're only going to be coming down to about here, but don't overdo that. As soon as you start tilting too far forwards, that's your depth to go down to. And you should feel the weight evenly on the feet, not too much on the balls of the feet, and certainly got some on the heels. And when we come up, we can open the arms up and we can press up into the air like we've got doing a shoulder press. So we can come back down, squatting down, come up, open and press, and down. And just gradually working through your range of motion. We can increase that as we go. And timing the body so it works nicely together. When we come up to the top of the motion, we can come up into a calf raise as well, so we get the ankle joint working. Back down, get the calves working. Up and up. And again, I'm listening to my glutes or buttocks working. I want those to be engaging and squeezing up. A lot of us struggle with my glutes working. Gluteal amnesia, we call it. So we're trying to wake that up and get it into the party as well. Yeah, then we can try this one as well, maybe a step up version. When we sink down, we can press up. This makes the arms work harder to get the shoulders work hard to get the arms in the air. Then we come up and then back down. Then we go up, or down, sorry, and then the arms go up. Then we come up and the arms come down. Squat down, arms up. Stand up, arms down. Squat down, arms up. stand up and arms down. Okay, good, so we've got the basic squats working on the spot, but sagittal, forwards and back. Now we're going to do some lunges. So I'll do this facing away. So we're going to step forwards with a nice big step. Let's just start the legs going here. So we'll do that, then we'll change and we'll go with the other leg and push back. Change and push back. Change and push back. So some people are thinking, oh, it's not a very fast-paced exercise he's doing, but it doesn't have to be. If you've got good posture, you're increasing that range of motion. It's much healthier for the body to have good quality over quantity and speed. And then you notice as well, I'm trying to move the arms in unison with the legs. So I can increase that as well. We're doing another arm motion. I'm going to go forwards with the left leg. I'm going to lift up the right arm. So I'm going to step back past my foot, or too far, sit back and swing the arm back behind me. All the time I'm keeping my back straight. Step forwards and arm up. Step back and stretch the hamstring. Step forwards so we stretch the front thigh. Step back, stretch the hamstring. So we're focusing here. Left leg as we go forwards. And then we're on the left leg as we go back. But the right leg is the one that's stretching. If you do it the same way around as me, anyway. Okay, and we can change to the other side, so we can step forwards with the other leg and stretch back. Forwards and back. Forwards and back. And deep, you can sit into that stretch, the more you're going to hit that hip flexor. We're used to being in the flex position as we're sitting down all day. Okay, it's good. Now we're going to do sideways. So we step out with the right leg here, and then we can step across ourselves and push the hip across. So we step out, stretch the inside thigh here, step across and push the hip across this way. So we stretch the inner thigh here, then push out and stretch the outer thigh. Inner thigh, outer thigh. Inner thigh, outer thigh. We can add the arms into this as well, so we can go up in the air to stretch the side as well. We can step across and then up in the air with the other arm. We go up with one and down with the other. Up with one and down with the other. Stretch and stretch. Stretch and stretch. Stretch and stretch. You just take your time. Work at your own pace and to your own depth. Okay, let's change over and try some on the other side now. So we're going out to the left, reach up and reach down. Step to the right, push the hip across, reach up, reach down. Step to the left, sink. Step to the right, reach up. Step to the left, stretch the inner right thigh if you're going the same way as me. Step to the right and stretch the outer right thigh. And down and up. And down and up. And down and up. And down and up. And down. Last one. And up. Okay, so we've got forwards and back, we've got side to side. Now we're going to do some rotational versions. So again, feet are hip width apart. Now I'm going to step back and around with the leg here. And then I'm going to push back. I'm going to step across my foot, again to open the hips up. So I step back and around, good stretch into it, so you can feel my left leg or whichever leg you've got here, where as you're watching the mirror image, opening up, and then back and we cross in. Turn out. We can take both of the arms around, as if we're grabbing a hold. Maybe we've got an axe in our hands here. Then we're going to step back around, and we're going to chop down with the axe. So we can step out, reach, grab, if you like, help you to visualise. You'll bounce on the leg you step out to here, and then you step forwards and bounce on the same leg, out, reach, step in. You twist the body, turn the head, everything's looking to do the same sort of movement. The body's all working together. Out, and in, and out, and in, and one more, out, and in, and then we're going to change to the other side. So we go out to the other side, reach and grab, step in, turn around. And this leg here again, I'm trying to keep the knee and the foot facing forward, so don't let the knee go all over the place, otherwise you're not getting stretch for a range of motion. Step out, open, grab, step in and pull down. Out, reach, step in and strike. Out and reach, and then in. Out and reach, then in. Out and reach, and in. Your body should be getting into it now, feeling your heart's working on a regular increase. Out, and one more, out, and in. Okay, good, so we've got the legs working quite well there, we've got the waist working a bit in different ranges of motion. I want to focus on the upper body a little bit more, and each of these are going to have a little bit of a sort of a specific area that we're working on. With this one I'm going to do a little bit of rotational, the rotator cuff, so external and internal rotation of the shoulder as best we can with no equipment here. So you can do it. A lot of people use dumbbells and things like that for this kind of work. So we're going to see what we can do on the floor as well. But we're still going to be doing work on the floor, okay? So keep your eyes down. So now we're going to go to the floor here. So you can use your mat if you like. Yeah, so I should have mentioned, if you've got yourself a mat, you can always use this now. I've just got a carpet here, so no need for me to put that down. Okay, so I'm going down to the floor. Now you can do this from the knees here, or you can do it from the push-up position here. And we're going to come down onto our elbows. So it's a good idea with this one to have a mat if you've got one. And then we're going to start by one arm on the floor, so this is for our external shoulder rotator. And I'm going to reach underneath my body and away from myself. So I feel my shoulder that I'm resting on here, stretching on the outside. Then I'm going to turn over, and I can always lift one leg as well. And I can reach up into the air a little bit as well to reach up. And I'm going to come back down to the floor to reach under, and then come back up again. Again, I can do this just on my feet without my knees on the floor, or you can do with the knees on the floor. So you should feel that one shoulder that you're resting on, that arm you're resting on, the shoulder stretch and then close, the back of the shoulder. So listen to that shoulder blade. Open and close. Open and close. Open and close. Open and close. Again, your range of motion you go to is personal to you. The speed you go to. Always better doing these kind of things slow anyway though. The total body's working as we're doing them. One more. Okay, let's change to the other side. And of course we're working our core at the same time. So onto the other arm. So we can do it getting our knees on the floor here. And open over, and reach over, down, under, up, and turn over. Down, reach under, up, and turn over. Down, reach under, up, and turn over. Down, reach under, into the feet, put the knees off the floor if you like. Under, and over. Again, listen to that shoulder stretching at the back, and then closing as you turn over. Stretch the back, and then close as you turn over. Two more. Stretch and turn over. And again, stretch and turn over. Good. Okay. Pop ourselves up. We're going to do a little bit on our feet, and then we can work our legs for a spell. and then come back down to that. Okay, so what we're going to do here is carry on with our lunge idea, but we're going to be going a little bit deeper into the lunge and take our time with a bit more. So we're going to step back here and sink down to the floor and then come back up. And then we can do the same with the other leg. Down, reach down to the floor, up and come up. Step back, reach down and then come up. Step back, reach down and then come up. Step back. And again, you go as low as you like. Down and then come up. Down and then come up. So another version of this, we can do this on one leg. So you don't actually have to place the other leg down, or you can just place it down when you feel that the leg you're standing on is starting to fail. And then come up. Stepping back. And then you're putting as much weight as you feel you can on the front leg. And again, listen to that buttock on that leg. Stretching and then contracting. And you're reaching down, you notice with the opposite arm to leg. Opposite arm to leg. Reaching down. Reaching down. Reaching down. And down. And down. If you feel you can put more pressure onto one leg than the other, then do so. Remember, we're working two legs at the same time here, so we've got double the amount of repetitions to do. Down and up, down and up. Yeah, so you should feel the glutes working well here. And down and up. Two more. Down and up. One more. Down and up. Good. Okay, so now we're going to go back to the external rotator cuff again. We're going to do this a little bit differently this time. So we're going to place the arm so it's perpendicular to the body, so it's facing straight across the body here, and then turn it in if you can do it any further. So the further we can turn that arm in, the better. Yeah. Okay, then we can come onto the side of our knee with that arm turned in, the other foot on top of our heel. What I'm going to do is I'm going to push the hips through as far as we can and lean over backwards as far as we can. So I'm asking again the external rotator cuff to stretch here an extra bit further and work another range of motion that we haven't done. So we're going to lean back, turn the knee over and reach back and push our hips forwards so you feel your front shoulder stretch. Back, hips forwards. And back, hips forwards. And back and hips forwards. And back and hips forwards. And back and hips forwards. And if you feel that arm slipping out, try to get that arm pushed back again. But just want everything to be working here. And again, you can do this with legs straight if you like that. I find it works fine with the bent knee. Okay, so we'll do the same on the other side. So to get this set up straight in the first place, go down the knees are bent back behind you, elbows down on the floor, try to keep your shoulder down in its socket, turn the arm back as far as you can, and then we're going to push the hips through and lean backwards. Down. Push the hips through and lean back, just until you feel that front shoulder giving a little bit, stretching. And then try to increase that range of motion. Stretching back, and stretching back, and stretching back. Two more. Push the hips through. Open out, stretching back. Good, okay. back up onto our feet again. So we're going to come back to our one-legged back reach here. So again, we can do this as a lunge. We can place the foot down straight away if you like, and then kind of double weight with the legs. Or you can put more weight on the front leg. So we're just going to sink down into that squat again. And then when we come up here, we're going to also raise the leg in front here. So we're working the front thigh. Down we go again. Squeeze the glute up. And we're working that front thigh. Down we go. Squeeze the glute up and work that front thigh. And of course the glute's working extra hard to lift that leg up in front as well. Then if you can see, I'm crossing right arm over to left leg in my case. Cross over. The body should always be crossing. That's how it works naturally. And if you're like me as well, you'll find you do this better on one side than the other. One tight hip flexor, one loose one. Two more. And then changing. Down, working that buttock, working the leg, up. Down, squeezing the glute, opposite arm to leg on the way down, opposite arm to leg on the way up. Sinking into it. Down. Two more. Last one. Okay, good. Right, okay, so working the internal rotator cuff. A few ways we can do that. I think what I'm going to look at here is one way of working it to its maximum on its flexion side, and then its maximum on its external rotation side, or the externally rotated position. So we'll start off with a floor position on the bottom, with your hands kind of next to your hips, and your knees at about quite a wide angle, maybe 100, 120 degrees open. Then we're going to push the hips forwards, but you notice that you can kind of use your hamstrings and your buttocks to push this forwards. So that's kind of your assistance, if you like. But what you can do is you can relax that, and you can push forwards with your arms or relax your hands. And if you find that's maybe a bit easy, you can always bring the legs further away from you. Yep, and then you've got more kind of fall back, and then back, and we can push up. And back and push up. Now feel your armpits and the muscles kind of under your arms, and then your shoulder blade and your lats doing this work. So if you push up, you can pull your shoulders down and back, push up, pull the shoulders down and back, and again remember, try to relax those legs more and more if you can. And up. And then to make that harder as well, you can push your hips higher in the air, which puts the weight more back into your lats and your internal rotators. It's actually doing this motion. You maybe start to feel your hamstrings start to work and cramp. Maybe you're doing too much with them. Okay, good. Up onto our feet. So now we're going to go back to the legs again, and we're going to use more of a lateral version of this like lunge technique for one leg reach. So we can start on one leg here, and then what we're going to do is we're going to reach the leg out to the side and then stand back up again. So reach the leg out to the side and stand back up. So I'm bearing the weight on the inside leg, and this one I'm floating this, if you can see. Yeah, I'm not actually putting the weight on this leg at all and come back up, but you can do if you really struggle. So you can place some weight on here, sink down and then back up. Yeah, or you can place no weight on there at all and standing up, back and standing up and back and standing up. You could have done this alternating like we did on the forwards one. Maybe we should have done that first, but I'm not pushing off of this leg here. Okay, so Marion, I can see you're kind of putting your weight to your other leg, so if you keep your weight on this side leg, bend that knee and reach your foot out, but don't put your weight to it. So you can lift this leg off the floor, look. Yeah, that's it, yeah. And then up again. Good, and up. We'll change sides and we'll try this on the other one and see if we can get it more on the other side. So what I'm really trying to do is push this hip out really, rather than lean. So you should be leaning towards the leg that's reaching away from you and then coming back up. Even if that's a very small motion, better for you to do that. And again, we're going to get this glute involved here. And up, and down, and up, and down, and up, and down, and up, and down, and up. Keeping the back nice and straight. Good, I feel my right glute working a treat. Down and up. One more. Pull up. Up we come. Good. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to try to work the internal rotator-cuff on the shoulder from its extreme stretch position. And we're going to start in the same position we were in on this side that we did the last one. But the arm now is turned out as far as we can get it. Okay, so now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to lift the hips and we're going to reach back and we're going to now feel that front shoulder here working. Come back again, pushing through. Now we've got the internal rotator and its maximum stretch. Maybe you feel it as well in the back of your shoulder. In fact, more where you should feel it. And also in the lats a little bit. Try to keep that shoulder pinned down so it's not floating up around the ear. Okay, good. Let's try the other side. Down, go on the knees, elbow on the floor. Turn that fist back as far as you can. Push the hips through. Lean back. In so you feel that straining. And then we're just going to close up, not too far. It's all in the lean back here. Without the lean backwards, you've got no work on that muscle. The correct muscles. Leaning back and down. Leaning back and down. Leaning back and down. Back and down. Not long to go now. Back and down. Back and down. And back. Yeah, make sure that shoulder is stretched to its maximum. One more. Good. Okay, back to the feet. Last set on the leg exercise. So we're going to come back to our lateral version here. So again, we're on this, which way did we start on in the first place? Not sure now, but we're going to go on the right leg to start here. We're reaching out, we're sticking the butt out to the side here. And when we come up, we can bring the leg up and across the body. Okay, so we go out to the side, come up, and bring it across the body. Out to the side, come up, bring it across the body. Trying to balance really all the while and just kind of letting that foot slump on the floor. And again, we can kind of add this reach down to the inside leg and then reach across to the other leg. So we've got this crossing going on again. Glutes working. And up. Down. And up. Down. And up. One more. Down. And across. Good. Okay, let's change. Same thing on the other side. Reaching down. Crossing over. Up and taking the leg across yourself. Reach down. Up and take the leg across. Yeah. So the weight stays on one leg. Stays on one leg. As best as you can. You have to put a little bit of weight to the other side. That's looking good, Marion. If you have to put a bit to the other side, then it's a fair game. But we're trying to keep it on one leg. Down. Then across. Certainly if we're losing our balance as well, that's great. It means we're taxing it, we're getting tired. Okay, good. So I'm not going to go too heavily into the cool downs. Always have a bit of a stretch, but we can always do a little bit of a stretch on the front thighs. But if you want to use a surface to balance on, you'll just try and practice your balance as you're doing it. So just focusing on the muscles we've been working here. Glutes and the hamstrings. We can just stretch, bend one knee, keep one leg straight. A lot of these exercises I'm doing here as well are broken down more in depth on the rehab in a box, my injury therapy intros which I'm doing as well. So you can always have a look at those as well and see how the exercises are used more for injury therapy. And the better you can do them, the more you can put into your exercise as well. That's good. Arms we can reach up, stretching back. Stretching the lats. Stretch across you. Change the stretch across. A good way of stretching the muscles is to do the same exercises that you've done, kind of in reverse, or just a static or slow version of that. So any of the movements you've done, the arms coming up, the arms going back, the arms turning out, is stretching the opposite muscle, but you kind of tend to need like an anchor or something, like a wall surface to open them out. Plinth or something behind you, so you can put your arms up behind you on something, and you can use this to stretch your external rotators and your chest. Okay, now just some ideas of how you can stretch, but again, I'm not going too heavily into the stretching beforehand and afterwards. You can try to do those before you do and after you've done these sessions, and then we can focus on the other bits. Okay, did you enjoy that, Marion? Yeah, yeah, okay. All right, well, so you can, if you want to do these sessions, any that's listening, if you want to do these sessions before the intros are finished, so you're doing them live and have the chance to interact and ask any questions, then you can join over the next 3 weeks. But if not, I say they'll be on a pre-recording. But you can find the information to my website, which is Stuart Ford Fitness and Martial Arts Instruction. You can go there, and there's the Coaching the Box series is on there through a link there. But you can also subscribe to the YouTube channel, which this will be on as a pre-recorded message. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed it, and bye for now, Marion. Well, you can stay for a second if you like, but bye everybody else.
It's gonna take time, focus and it'll be fine, girl.